Time for another board game review, and this time we have the game Oh Fox. This was sent to me by Cinnamon Games and is designed by Herbie Donkers. In Oh Fox, players secretly take on the roles of animals of the forest, each with their own unique ability. Prey animals are gathering food while being hunted by the predator. Across 8 turns, players move across the board by simultaneously playing one face-up action card each turn. However, their pawns don't actually move until the end of the game. Until then, players try to hide their own identity while attempting to figure out who the others are before it is too late. Let me show you how to play. So in Oh Fox, you're all different animals. There are predators and prey. Each of you gets a secret identity card that is placed face down in front of you, as well as action cards that you'll be using during the game in order to move around and do stuff. Now, if you receive the predator card, you get the predator token so that everybody else knows that you are the predator. However, they don't know which of these 2 predators you are. On the side here are also objective cards. These are different every game. I'll get into these later. So the game is played over 8 turns. Each turn, players will simultaneously play an action card. After these 8 turns, they reveal their identity and simultaneously execute their 8 actions turn by turn. Whoever has the most hearts at the end of the game wins. So, each player will take a card from their hand. So let's say a red player decides they want to go this way. They could put a card like this face down in front of them, and everyone else does the same. Once everyone picks their cards, they all reveal them face up. So let's say red went that way, yellow went this way, green went this way, blue went this way. Each player would put these cards in front of them because as you put down your actions, you're going to put them in sort of like a sequence. What happens though is the actions are not executed yet. Instead, you have to keep track of what people are doing. The pawns don't move until the end of the game. So let's go over what these actions can do. This is just a single movement card. Very simply, that pawn will move in that direction. Double move, just move 2 spaces. A stop card means for that turn, you stop. If you are a prey animal, you need a stop symbol in order to eat food. I'll get into that later. Move stop lets you move a space and then eat. So I could move, and if there's a food here that matches my animal, like if I was a squirrel, I could eat a nut. And finally, the trigger card activates your special ability. Each animal has a special ability, like the squirrel, their special ability is a double movement. The rabbit goes through tunnels. I'll go through these later, but that's how you activate your special. Eating food is the main way to score hearts, which is what you want to win the game. The way to eat food is different for prey. If you're a prey animal, you look at your card, this tells you what kind of food you can eat. So the bird here can eat acorns. So to eat an acorn, you have to play a card that has a stop symbol. So if I played this on my first turn, red would later go more like this, and then they would eat. Every time you eat, you get a heart. Meanwhile, if I'm the predator, I am trying to just encounter other pawns. Every time I run into the same space as another pawn, that is a prey, I get to eat them. I attack them. You can only attack a prey once in the same turn, and yet you score 1 heart, and the prey animal will receive 1 broken heart for each time that happens. If you, as the predator, manage to attack every prey animal at least once, you'll receive a bonus heart at the end of the game. There's also the healing space in the middle. If you're a prey animal and you suspect you've been attacked during the round, you can heal by going to this space. If you go onto that space at any time, you discard 1 of your blue broken hearts if you end your turn on the space. During the game, you place down these action cards simultaneously and then you reveal them. I'm going to illustrate this best with a 2-player game. So let's say this player is the predator and this player is the prey. And this person, the green player, puts down this card, the red player puts down this card, and that they reveal. Okay? So now you know, okay, red player is going to move there, green player is going to move this many spaces. And so as each player, as you're putting down your cards, you're trying to predict, okay, what is the next player going to do? And I'm also trying to figure out what is their special power. If they play a special power, it is up to you to go, okay, what are they doing here? Are they doing the double movement as the squirrel? Are they, flying as the bird? That's where the sort of strategy comes into play. And each turn, as you're revealing more and more of these cards, once you hit 8 rounds, 8 cards will be in play, and then after that, all of the pawns will start moving, and you'll reveal what actually happened. So then at the end after all 8 cards are placed, it'd be like, okay, 1, 2, 1, eat, and then it's revealed. Oh, aha! This action was actually the fox, so he moved backwards. Oh, well, this one was the squirrel, so it moved, twice. That sort of thing. And at the end, you will see what you programmed and what the results are. Finally, let's look at some of the objectives here. This one here says don't play the same type of action card consecutively. You'll get a heart at the end for that. And this one, if you never use a double move card, you also get a heart. And these are always different each game. And finally, if you're a prey animal, if you manage to return back to your home on turn 8, that means you get another bonus heart if you manage to return home on the final turn. So that's kind of a lot to process because you're not actually moving the pawns as you go. But so a typical player's sort of board will look like this. If let's say they do this, they do this, I'll set up a turn or a round. So by the end of the game, every player is going to have a row of actions like this. Now, before we do the actions, the predator player gets to guess what role the other players are. And for each one they can guess correctly, they receive a heart. Then, everybody will play out their actions simultaneously. I'm only showing one player's actions here, but in the actual game, all of them would be going at the same time. So like, let's say red went, okay, I moved here, I ate a food. Then I moved back, or wait, no, this should be. Then I moved down. Then I went left twice. Then I went left. Then I ate. Then I went, then I went up. Then I ate. And finally, I went 1 back home. That is what the red player did during the entire round. They ate a couple times and they ran over to the heal spot. However, everyone is going to reveal all their action cards. So you may find out that, the predator actually ran into you as you were doing that. And so as you play out all the actions, you score all the hearts you get. If the predator runs their pawn into you during your actions, they get hearts, and you get a blue broken heart. It's that sort of game where you're all sort of programming your animals secretly while trying to figure out what everyone else is doing. At the end of the game, you discard 1 heart for every blue broken heart you have, and whoever has the most hearts wins based off the food you ate, returning home, the objectives, and the predator objectives. Now, the different animals also have different abilities they can do. I went over, double movement and going through this. The rabbit can go through caves, but let's see. The sparrow here can fly forward in the direction of your trigger action until you arrive at a house of any color. The snake, as their special action, can go back and forth. The fox can actually go backwards as their trigger action, which can be tricky. The hedgehog's special move is it moves regularly, but it can't be attacked by the predator that turn. The rat is just like the fox, it goes in the opposite direction. The toad, from anywhere on the board, you can just directly move to the healing space. The owl can move 3 spaces forward in the direction of their trigger action. You can't attack while flying, but you can attack on the space you arrive on. The badger, it's also another tunnel movement card. There are also other objectives, like this one lets you rewards you for using all 4 of your single move cards. If you point at least 1 action card in each of the 4 directions, you get a point. This one lets you rewards you if you use all your stop cards. This one if you ever play a stop card while you're on healing. But otherwise, that's the game. You're playing your action cards simultaneously, trying to predict what other players are doing, and by the end, once all 8 actions are done, they all start moving around one by one, depending on how you program them. And that's the game. So this is a clever game. At first, I thought it was a little hard to wrap my head around
And I was like, why is there like a hidden identity element to this? But then I realized, oh, okay, this is a programming game with hidden movement, and that's actually really fun. I appreciate the variety of the animal powers and the objectives and how it changes up the game each time. The length of the game is also perfect. 8 turns gives you enough time to make interesting decisions, and then afterwards go, okay, one more. You know, it's like the perfect amount of time. I do wonder if the heart distribution methods are completely balanced for predators versus prey. But honestly, at the end of the day, that was hardly the point for me. I don't really care what my score is at the end. The point for me was the satisfaction of going, okay, did you do what I think you did? Or did I catch you as the predator? Or as the prey? Did I get out of your grasp? Did I trick you with this special action here? That satisfaction matters to me more than how many points I got to the end. Like in the end, it doesn't really matter, but the satisfaction of catching people and being correct, that's really fun. Overall, this was a very clever and enjoyable game. It's got a cute theme. It's fun and interesting to play, and once you can get used to the fact, oh, you're placing cards, you're not moving your pawn yet, you're predicting and programming your pawn for the end of the game. Once you get your head around that, it's fun. I really enjoyed this one.